Most people don't get enough reps. You're there. You are showing them how to put in the reps.
Right.
You just are.
Activity cures all ills, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And we have those numbers dialed in. You knock on this many doors with leads, right? Knock on this many doors with leads. You should get this many presentations. This many presentations will equal to this much AP. This much AP will equal a six-figure income. So our whole formula is designed to show an agent how to come in immediately and make six figures.
So if it's like, hey, I want to make six figures, just knock on this many leads doors each week.
Correct.
And at the end,
it's going to be six figures.
It will equal this.
If
he didn't say it should. He said it's going to be six figures.
Right. But you have to do everything.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins, man. And not only do we have a guest back again, who this dude got tens of thousands of views last time we're here. We're going to crush it even more. You guys are going to share this thing out and make sure it touches and reaches the rest of the industry. But this dude is back in person this time. And what's cool about our special guest today is he is someone that has amazing energy and passion and a fire that burns inside of him to not only succeed, but to help other people succeed just like you. And I'm telling you what, if you're out there and you're watching and you're like, dude, I want to get to six figures consistently and multiple six figures and eventually start creating generational wealth and make a whole bunch of money, then I'm telling you, this will be arguably the best podcast you ever had. And you will want to listen to every word this dude says because he is phenomenal at plugging people in to make a living. A lot of places around the world, they'll get you contracted, they'll recruit you, they'll do the thing, they'll whatever, and they won't help you. And then you'll be a statistic. You'll be 92%. You won't make any money, and you'll be calling me like, bro, where are all the good people in the world? Well, here's one of them. His team is Team 300. He's got about 120 agents that write every single month consistently. Please welcome back to the channel, Mr. Brian Celestine.
Let's go. Ahoo.
What's up, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man.
Good
Glad to be here.
Again. Absolutely. It's like, dude, you got to be good at sales if your last name is Celestine.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't think about that, but that's very true, bro.
Come on, man.
Let's get it.
And you're phenomenal at it. How long have you been doing this?
So been in the industry now 16 years. We'll make 16 years next month.
Yep.
I've been with North American Senior Benefits for 13 years now. So
dude, that's cool.
Still going strong.
Let's go, man. And it's exploding. It feels like to me that you have a lot of good things happening. You have a lot of momentum, and that it's exploded even further these last few years. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I shared this with you before the camera started, but, you know, we're definitely in growth mode. Man, I've been traveling, you know, we're going into April. You know, I've been home, man, 20% of the days.
Wow, you've been traveling more than me, bro, and I thought I traveled a lot.
Bro, I'm traveling. After our event in Florida, I went home, man. I got home at about 11 o'clock. You know, I told my wife, keep my boy up, Michael, my little 6-year-old son. He was falling asleep. I told her, give him some sugar or something, get him up. You know, I got home, he jumped, he hugged me, and I was like, bro, I got to leave tomorrow. He's like, Dad, again? I was like, yeah, bro. But this is the thing. You know, I tell my son, I asked him, hey, why am I doing this? He's like, to build the family business. For who, son? He's like, for me, Dad. And as long as he knows that, as long as my wife understands what I'm doing and who I'm doing it for, I'm cool with it, you know, because I'm all about leaving a legacy, man. I told you, you know, that my dad died at 59 years old. My grandfather died at 45. Great-grandfather died at 45. And, you know, although they left a legacy of hard work, which I've carried on the torch, they didn't leave a financial legacy. And for me, you know, it's a big deal that I leave a financial legacy, man. So I'm pushing, and, you know, I'm going to live till at least 90, bro. I'm going for 90.
Man. Double it up. You're 45 now, right?
I'm 45.
You don't look 45, though, does he, man? Jeez Louise, man. I need some of your genes, but I'm 45, bro.
You know, hey.
I still got 11 years, but you know. Right. Where does the passion and the drive come from? Because, like, from what I see, and maybe it's why we click and just get along really well, but and you're busy, but you make time for what's important.
Right.
And I just feel this hunger from you that I don't necessarily feel from other people we work with or other people in the industry? Where does that come from?
Man, like I just mentioned, a part of it is just knowing that, you know what, you don't know how long you have.
Yeah.
And for me, it's important that I live every day. Goals. I'm a big goal guy, right? And it's important for me to continue to grow. Like money's cool, but money's not everything.
But if you made the same every year,
that wouldn't excite me,
even
as
though
much.
It's a good amount of money.
Yes.
We'll say that.
Yes.
But I agree, it would not excite me either. Where does that come from for us that no matter whether, hey, it's $1 million, $10 million, whatever, it's like, yeah, but it isn't about what we did last year. It's like, dude, what are we doing now?
Right.
Why are we wired that way? Why are we so freaking weird, bro?
Well, like I said, money's good, but it's not everything. I think it's all about just seeing and knowing that you're growing, right? That you're growing, that you're just hitting things and getting better. You mentioned at the last meeting, man, that you invest over $250,000 in personal development.
Yep.
And for me, I invest a lot. Last year, I think I did probably, closer to about maybe 70,000 in just personal development.
Compared to the average human in the world is still a ton.
Sure. But when I heard you say $250,000, I'm like, I got to step my game up, man, because it's all about personal growth. And, when I'm 50 years old, I want to be a better man. I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better dad. So I'm looking to get better in all aspects of life. That's important to me. If I'm the same dad 5 years later, if I'm the same husband, I hadn't grown in that, if I'm the same leader, that doesn't excite me. To me, that would be a failure. Like I use the analogy, man, like, when you're when you're a child, like my son, Michael, man, it's like every time I see him, he's getting taller, right? But when it comes to personal development from adults, it doesn't just work like that. If you're not intentional about your growth, if you're not intentional about development, you can wake up 5 years later and be the same height, right, as a leader. And that's not something that I want to be, man. So as long as I'm growing, as long as I'm just continuing to push upwards, that's what pushes me, man. That's what drives me. And I want my family to be proud. I want my son to be like, hey, my dad was a hard worker. My dad set me up and put us in a position that, hey, maybe we wouldn't be in if it wasn't for him and, my kids and my wife. So that's important to me, man.
Yeah, I can tell it's super important to you too. You know what resonated with me, and I don't know that I didn't know this. I wonder if you had said it before. I just didn't hear it. How people can say stuff several times, but you don't. Right. At some point, you hear it. Last time when you just said it a second ago, but when we were in Tampa recently. Right. Great roadshow, by the way. Brian, amazing. Also, how freaking good has he already been on this podcast? Goodness gracious. If you're enjoying this thing, let him know in comments below. He don't need the love, but man, this dude's crushing it. One of the things you said, though, is, hey, my dad died at 59, grandfather 45,
right.
Great-grandfather 45,
right?
That hit me. And then you said you were 45 years old.
Right.
What did you think when you then hit 45 years old?
Blessed, blessed.
Because you definitely blazed a much different path than other men that preceded you from what you shared.
Right. Well, I'm definitely the first in my, bloodline that I know to reach the level of success, that I have. Cool. So I'm blessed, man. I'm a man of faith. That's number one in my life. Amen. I'm a family man. That's more important than, any of this other stuff. And then, third, I'm a businessman, my team, 300, and making sure that they have the success. But man, I count my blessings every day, because look, I'm 45 and, Yahweh willing, I make it till 90, but some people don't live to be, 30 or 20 or 10. Yep. There's kids that are dying every day. So every day I get a chance to wake up, man, just knowing what my family history has been. I count it as a blessing. I'm healthy. I feel good. So all of that, man, I'm thankful. I'm appreciative for sure.
Yeah, I can feel that as well. Do you think do you focus on your health more now as you're aging as well? I feel like that's a focus for you.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I mean, for the last, health is a big deal. For the last couple years, because it's like, don't matter how much money you make.
Yeah.
Bro, if you're all, you're struggling, with your health, I mean, it doesn't mean as much, right?
Nope.
So health is wealth for sure. So, man, I get up. I mean, this morning I was up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, did some cardio, did some weights. I eat healthy. The last, it's going on, I guess, 2.5 years. I do a new diet, man, where I eat, a lot of organic fruits, vegetables, greens, don't eat meat with antibiotics. So,
You eat some meat though?
No, I eat meat.
Okay, yeah.
I eat a lot of meat, bro, not some.
Dang.
I love a good steak, bro.
Yeah, man.
But no, I make sure that it's grass-fed
Got it.
beef,
Got it.
no antibiotics, no hormones. So definitely watching my health, man. That's important.
Amazing.
And I'll say this, you can't really, if you're looking, these podcasts are focused on success.
Yeah.
Some people, if you're too tired, to
to
get
them.
up and go to work, that's going to affect your ability to be successful in any arena, right? No
Yeah.
matter what you're doing. So you gotta make sure you got the energy to get up and go, man. Because I've been going, bro. I've been going hard, and look, I need to stay healthy. All of that matters for sure.
People always ask me too, like, dude, how do you go? Like, how do you go at the level that you go? And honestly, I love what I do, right, which is huge. And man, I just have this fire within as well to like, dude, I want to leave something. I want to create something big, man. Like, I want people to look back and say, dude, our industry is completely different because of the sacrifices Cody Askins made.
Yeah.
And that fuel.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, one of the things I always said, I want to leave a legacy for my family early on, even with our team, 300, right? We say we have our 9 core values, and then we have something called our noble cause. We are striving to help agents and families leave a legacy while becoming better individuals. So, for me now, leaving a legacy, yes, my family, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But also helping my guys and girls that I work with, it's important that they're able to leave a legacy.
Amen.
So, I say our team 300, we're legacy builders, man. So if I can help those guys, so that's what keeps me going. So if one of my guys is in Tampa, man, we did your meeting. Then I did a road show, a boot camp with those guys, and
awesome.
Took some people field training out in the field, and it was impactful for them. I got some people here in Kansas City, gonna help them make more money than they've ever made. So that's what I'm doing, man. Just traveling to different markets, helping people make more money than they've ever made, doing this business the right way so they can have longevity in this business. Not doing it part-time, not kind of doing it, but doing it all the way. And so that pushes me, man. I want to see them win. I want to see them do well. So, I got to lead from the front when it comes to that.
Yeah. What do you see a lot of people that are the average agent that reaches out to you that's not on your team. What are they telling you? What are they saying? What are you hearing for all those that are also listening?
That's a good question. And I'm sure the audience a lot of them listening in have these same issues. Number one thing that you're hearing, leadership, lack of leadership. Okay. You mentioned it at the onset of the call that people these days, the industry, I should say, has kind of dissolved into multi-level marketing almost, where everybody's just mass recruiting. They're just recruiting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, but nobody's training these people the right way. They tell them, hey, go watch this video. There's your training. Right? Those people call for support. Well, they don't always, get their calls answered. So I'm hearing that a lot. And the thing that's different about our team, the thing that's different about the culture of our company, we don't mass recruit. The truth is we don't want everybody. Just because you have a breath doesn't mean that we want you on our team. It's just the truth, right? We want people who are coachable, teachable, and ethical. And we'll take those people. And look, you're going to get all of me. I'm going to get you in the car, take you out in the field, and show you how it's done. Personally, or one of our managers in the area gonna take you out in the car and do it. If you're doing it over the phone, we have people that do it over the phone, but we're gonna let you listen into them. We're going to fine tune your presentation, right? So leadership and training is a big thing. Secondarily, I hear leads. You know, I mean, look, our company, we don't make money from leads. It's not part of our business model.
Yeah.
You know, actually, we do the opposite. We subsidize the cost of the leads. So we actually lose money on every lead sold.
Wow.
Right? Wow. But we do that because our job is to add maximum value to the agent. If they can have quality leads that's not being sold to, you know, I mean, 20 other agents and everybody's chasing after the same people, then their profitability goes up. Their time spent is more valuable, it's more productive. So leadership, training, support, leads are some of the things that I'm hearing the most. People want mentors, man.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so they want that training, they want that support. And that's the thing that I bring, you know. And look, I'll just say this. I'm not one of those guys that are recruiting that are just, I've never done it.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Correct.
You know, I've done it at a high level, and I believe that if you can do it at a high level, you can teach people how to do it at a high level.
Amen.
You know, here at NASB, you know, I've won Agent of the Year, you know, wrote the most business in America. You know,
awesome.
Before this, I was at New York Life. I was a top case writer in the state of Louisiana.
Wow.
So everywhere I've gone, I've done it at the highest level so I can teach people what it takes, the activity, the leads, the presentation. And all you have to do from that point on is copy. If you can just copy, you know, what I've done, then you can do it as well. So
yeah. Also, for those who are listening, man, put in the comments which of those three resonate with you the most: leadership, leads, or training, and what you are lacking as well. I think that would help us both a lot. I'm going to interrupt the podcast to tell you about our Kaboom leads that are literally blowing up. If you would love to never get disconnected numbers or wrong numbers ever again, then you will love our leads at Kaboom Leads. All of our lead types, we text the prospect a 6-digit security code. They go back in the funnel and put that in to verify that it is a real, accurate cell phone number, and they've responded to a text message. We do this for all of our lead types. If you haven't tried Kaboom Leads, you can use coupon code podcast to get 10% off of your very first order at CABOOM Back to the show. Also, too, when you talk through that, right, leadership, leads, and training, and then hey, just copy what is being done, what is successful, right? I always say copy what works.
right.
Why do people struggle to just click copy and paste?
You know, I think that we hear so much from so many people. You know, I mean, you talk about this, how, you know, there's a lot of pretenders in our industry. You know, they'll tell you, oh, I'm making all this money. And they're not, right?
Correct.
But they play, they pretend, right? And people will see those people videos, and they're good recruiters. They can sell the dream, right? But it's important that you see a track record, a proven track record of success. You know, I never understood why people, they say you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, whoever you hang around with the most, right? Whoever you speak with the most. So look at your circle. Are those people in the position that you're looking to go? Are they headed in the direction that you want to go? If they are, good, okay? But if these are people that are just complainers, they just have problems, right? They just have issues all the time, or they're headed in the wrong direction, or they're failing. You know, too much, you know, listen, voices lead to choices. And so make sure that the voices that you are listening to are voices that are positive people, people that are succeeding, that are winning, that don't take no for an answer, that are just looking to grow in their life, man. So surround yourself with the right people. And if they aren't the right people, then you know what? Then separate yourself. Nothing wrong with that.
Amen.
Not saying you ain't got to be their friend anymore.
Sure.
But you need a new circle.
Yeah, add some distance. Voices lead to choices.
100%.
I've never heard that. That is gold, man. What are some of the wrong voices? If you're an agent and you're struggling and you're trying to get around the Brian Celestines of the world, and you want to make 6 figures consistently and more, what are the wrong words from the wrong voices that sometimes you may not even realize are wrong, that are really impacting your career and your mind in a big way?
You know, people that, you know, focus on problems. The conversation is always the problem. You know, we can have a conversation with an agent, and I do something called one-on-ones, right? Where I ask them, what's your why? Okay. What is your income goal, right? What are your monthly obligations? What's your schedule like? Let's look at your lead investment. Let's look at your presentation. Let's look at the communication. Let's look at all of these things, right? And so when we're doing that, and I'm hearing the issues that they're having, I listen just to solve, okay? So I listen very closely. But now, what is the solution to the problem? So 10% of it is going to be talking about the problem.
Yeah.
The other 90% of the conversation is the solution to the problem. You got to be careful with people who invert that, right?
Yeah.
So 10% is the solution, and 90% we're just talking about the problem. Look, misery loves company.
Yeah.
And people like to talk about, if they're not doing what they want to do, they're not succeeding. They just like to talk about the problem. So I think that's an indicator. Stay away from that.
Amen.
If that's the only discussion, you know what? Cut the conversation short.
No
Talk
doubt.
to people who are, just problem-solving oriented.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Albert Einstein says, stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution.
Yeah. I think you're the first person I heard use that quote. I love that quote.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It goes along right with what you're saying.
Right.
I started using it in the road shows, and yeah, it's cool. I resonate with it pretty quick.
Right.
I don't incorporate a ton of quotes, but occasionally I'm like, ooh, that's good, man.
Right.
That's strong. So if an agent's out there and they're okay,
And this is not beer, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
okay?
thank you for that.
Liquid Death Water.
Thank you.
Okay. They did not sponsor this event.
That's right. That's right.
But we are drinking their water.
So it's mountain water, still drinking. You would think it's from Missouri since it's mountain water, but it is not. Even though we just definitely give them a commercial. You're welcome. Okay.
Right.
But you're right. It is definitely not beer. Not cerveza at 11 a.m. on a Monday.
Exactly.
Also, you mentioned Houston.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned Louisiana. Did you live in Louisiana before?
Yeah, so I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana. Is where I started off in the industry. Did 3 years with New York Life. Started building, with North American Senior Benefits when I left them. Want to build an agency. And, stayed out there for about a year. Built a nice team throughout Louisiana. Then moved to Houston because it was a bigger market. Nobody was there, so I was like, man, this is perfect. So moved to Houston. I've been there the last 12 years-ish.
Wow.
11 and a half years-ish.
You like Houston?
Yeah, Houston's cool, man.
Yeah.
Great big market, great food, because us people from Louisiana
Amen.
come and inspire the culture. But I love it, man. It's a good place, yeah.
Other than the traffic, maybe,
The traffic sucks, but besides that.
How much of your team is in Houston?
Man, maybe about 20%, so
Okay.
we're in Houston. We got a good squad in Dallas,
Nice.
El Paso, Corpus Christi. I just left there. We're in Florida. We're in Louisiana. We're in Mississippi, Alabama, Delaware. Couple of other
Delaware's
Oklahoma.
a random one.
I know, bro. But I got
A lot of
a
these
great
are
agent.
Midwest and South.
Yeah,
Southeast.
great
Yeah,
agent in Delaware though. Oklahoma, one of my top guy. Matter of fact, shout out to Loch Ness Monsters out in Oklahoma.
It's a great
man.
name, by the
Yeah,
way.
we do nicknames. He's the Loch Ness Monster.
He's in where in Oklahoma?
He is in Tulsa.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours from here. Yeah, it's not
Tulsa.
bad at all.
No, matter of fact, no. OKC.
Okay, so that's about 4.5.
Yeah, OKC.
Dude, that's strong.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I've always heard Louisiana is great for final expense.
It is.
Yeah.
Great market. Nice people.
Not are they just as nice in Houston?
Yeah, Houston is nice people. But see, the thing about Houston is Houston has so many people that bombard them. They're coming to their home for something, right? Solar or cable or this or that. So they get a lot more traffic.
You
Then
become more resistant.
Yeah. And then Louisiana, we're just, we're that southern hospitality.
Yeah.
We're just very nice people.
You're getting Dylan and I thinking about freaking Cajun food. Dylan's thinking about seafood now.
Yeah.
This.
I can ball you some crawfish, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
Eat. Dude, we did a road show in 2019. Well, 16 cities. One of the cities was we were doing 4 or 5 cities in a row at night, which was crazy. But New Orleans, we had 6 people show up, but we stopped. Dylan, I feel like Dylan stopped about every hour, get some Cajun. No, just kidding. But dude, he loves it. He loves it. Anytime we're there, it's like, hey, when in Rome,
right.
Which I'll be in Rome Saturday. But yeah, when in Rome. So for agents that are like, okay, let's pinpoint on training.
Sure.
Right? You've got lead solutions, whether it's direct mail, whether it's digital, whatever,
Right.
Heck, Brian don't care if you use Kaboom as long as you're consistently seeing people, right?
Absolutely.
You have obviously leadership, mentorship. That's you. That's the infrastructure, which most people don't get. And then they can slowly become a leader within the organization, which is great. But training. A lot of people blame leads, but within your organization, it's you all solve that problem because it's the biggest one, which is great. When it comes to training, let's just say an agent that's been in the business for 6 months, a year, 18 months, they may not see it or admit it, or they love that they have all this experience. What are they typically missing?
As far as training, man, first off, I like to get them in the car with me or with one of our managers.
Which is also amazing. The fact that you still do that is freaking incredible. Most places don't do that. I love that that's the case. So if you guys are like, man, I've never had anybody like I've actually been able to shadow and like get in the car with them and actually work and see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a big thing, man. I mean, not everybody can learn watching a video or just reading a script. They want to see it.
I would agree.
So getting them in the car with myself, another manager, where they can just see, okay, what works, right? What are they saying? Mm-hmm. What does their body language look like? Because that's important, getting in the door.
Big.
Your body language. What is the tone? How are they moving through the presentation, right? How are they connecting with the client?
Yeah.
So once they can see that, then you give them the script. Now we can just tell them, we can really fine tune it. Okay, like here, I want you to drop your tone, like drop in tone there, and your social, right? And your social. And your social, all right? and who do you bank with, right? Drop your head at this point. We can really fine tune it to where if you do these things,
you get it dialed in.
Get it dialed in, right? So they watch us first. Then we watch them. In fact, that's why I'm here in Kansas City. We have some recruits out here that I'm going to let them watch me, and then I'm going to watch them. And I'm in the home, and I just take notes, man. I'm just on my phone, just taking notes. And if they look to me for help, I'm just like, I'm not saying anything. I'm like, this is on you because I want to see everything.
What does the client know when you're just tagging along?
Well, I'll say, listen, hey, I'm the manager. I'm just listening in today, make sure everything's being done right. And, man, that goes a long way. I have an agent.
I bet conversion rates actually go up when that's the case, too. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I had an agent, man, come on board, didn't write in the, Corpus area, wasn't writing, a lot of business at all. We went in, did some field training, watched them, right? And, I mean, just immediate. You just see immediate results from it. Wrote like 4,000 to 5,000, but last week, so I mean, these last couple weeks, right? This last week she did like over 9,000 in AP.
Wow.
Just quick, man. So these things, it doesn't take that long for you to get good at this.
That's awesome.
Right? If you have somebody that knows what they're doing, they know what to look for, and then you copy. Yeah. So that's going to be training. We got, script this script will take you from the beginning of the sale to the end of the sale with the least resistance, right? So we're going to really fine tune this thing with our agents. So if you're struggling, give me a call. We'll help you out. We'll show you how to come in and make a 6-figure income. And then if you become a builder, we can show you how to make a 7-figure income doing this. I mean, we got people around the country that are making agents that are making 6 figures, and then leaders in our organization, we're making 7-figure income. So it's definitely possible, man.
Yeah, it's cool to see what's possible too. And if you think about too, like how dialed it is, a lot of places in agents, it's just like they're going to see people, they're not making sales, and they're just assuming it's the industry, it's the leads, it's the carrier, it's the upline, it's whatever. It's I don't get any support and training, which is true.
Right.
But it's like you aren't winging anything. Like it is so freaking dialed in that you're changing tone in your social, right? Like head down, like it's so dialed in to where like you're not, and it's probably not changing ever. It's the same, and it works, and it's duplicatable. It's like a sports team, man. Where if you're running a route, and I used to play a receiver back in high school, dude. If I'm supposed to like jab one way and then do like a slant across the middle, dude. If I forget the jab, maybe there's no separation. Like all these little things, man. Like it makes such a difference. And to think that someone out, and there's people out there right now that are like, dude, shoot, I'm just not doing well. I don't think I can do well with you either.
Well,
I don't know, man.
listen, if you think that,
Then maybe you can. If you think you can or you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah, that's true.
Who said that? Was it Brian Tracy or somebody?
If you think you can or you think you cannot, who is that?
You're probably right.
Is it Benjamin?
Who is that, Dylan?
Look that up.
If you think you
Look
can,
that up. I always want to do that. Go ahead and get that.
It's like a Joe Rogan moment.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah.
If you think you can or think you can't, you're probably right.
So
Something along those lines. I don't know. It's close.
Yeah, it's easy. That'll come up for sure. Henry Ford. That's who I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Henry Ford.
you were closer than I was. I said Brian Tracy. I was way off.
Yeah, right.
Henry Ford. That's right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one.
So a lot of it, man, is attitude.
Yeah.
Attitude.
Gosh.
Because listen, people, and I did this training in Tampa, and that's one of the things that we were covering is this, before I get out the car. So when I'm field training somebody, before I get out the car, I tell them, hey, as soon as we pull up in the driveway, we start smiling. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, I make the person, we all start smiling. And then I say this, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, everybody want insurance. And then I'll tap them, bap, bap, bap. I get them laughing. But I say, listen, it's all about, and I do that at every door. Every single door. Sun is shining, birds are chirping, everybody want insurance. And I do that at every door. And what it does is people feel the energy that's coming from you, right? Amen. So I'm putting out there good vibes. The client will feel that good energy.
Yeah.
And listen, if you are one of those ones, you're negative, oh, nobody's buying today. These leads suck. It's hot out here. The people are going to give you what you're putting out. Well, you know what? Nobody's buying, neither am I. Get off my porch, right? And close the door on you. So giving out good energy. Amen. And there was a study conducted as well that said that top agents, or it wasn't just sales, top sellers, right? Top performers, they speak to them. They talk to themselves.
Amen.
They talk to themselves.
You're right, dude.
Right? So, man, I'm hyping myself up. You know what I mean? And I'll even, I even joke around. I'll be like, oh, I hope them insurance people come today. I'm looking at the lead and I'm doing Miss Johnson's voice. Oh, I hope them insurance people on the way. The recruiter will be laughing, but I'm getting myself in that mode. Amen. And then when I get to the door, listen, you're not keeping me out that house, because I'm feeling good. I'm giving off good energy. I got the proper tonality. I got the proper body language. I'm saying the right things. It's going to be hard to keep me from getting in your home when everything is working in my favor, Amen. When all odds are working in my favor, right? So
I love that.
Attitude, man. Attitude is important.
Dude.
Henry Ford, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. Yeah. And you know what? I know I can. And stay positive for sure.
Yeah. It's so funny. You mentioned some of these things that honestly, like a lot of the top performers end up doing a bunch of the same things eventually, whether they realize it or not.
Right.
Like I used to, try to get out of the car pretty quick, and sit in the driveway forever. It's weird. And then I would, as I'm walking to the front door, I would like smile and wave at the window.
I do that too, bro.
Do you really?
Yes.
Even if the blinds were closed.
I do it too.
Like as I'm headed to the door.
Listen.
How stupid is that?
Hey, it's not stupid, bro.
It works.
It works. Listen, I even do it at apartment complexes. When I'm just hey, when I was field training in Tampa, they was like, you even wave? Nobody. There's 100 people. And then I get to their door. You know what I'm saying? They can't sit.
Yeah.
I just do the wave, man. That's absolutely,
good.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
And then listen, when they open the door, smile bigger.
Yeah.
So I'm smiling. They answer the door, smile bigger. Yeah, it's hard to slam the door on somebody that's smiling, big at you. You know what I mean?
You don't.
Yeah.
You just don't, man.
Yeah.
It's. I mentioned some of that in Tampa. I don't know if you heard some of this or not. I kind of got after Tampa a little bit.
I did. I heard you.
Yeah.
I heard you. Yeah.
Was that rough? Was that too rough on them?
Nah. I mean,
what was your take?
No, man. I mean, look, you got to keep it real, and you kept it real.
Yeah. I think I went on. I mean, maybe a little too hard, but I went into like human connection tips.
Sure.
And man, dude, you can sense it. Like people sitting at freaking events, like this.
Right.
No, never taking notes. Playing on their phone. And now some of it is my fault. Like I just got to get better to keep people's attention. But dude, like body language and energy and all that. It's like, dude, I'm gonna learn more if I'm like, this is gonna be the best training I ever went to. I'm taking notes. This is gonna be really good. Like, yeah, dude, you talked about the amount of money that we both spend on personal growth. Dude, I do that, and there's been years where I've spent more. But I do that because we know that when we pay, we pay attention.
Right.
And we know that for this thing to get better, we have to get better.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of you guys out there, man, you just got to get better. This has got to get better. You may have this, but dude, this has got to get better. This has got to get better. And when you're in the field actually doing and learning and working, man, like you just get better, you know? So I can imagine like, dude, people are making really quick shifts in a matter of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also too, most people don't get enough reps. You are showing them how to put in the reps.
Right.
You just are.
Activity cures all ills, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And we have those numbers dialed in. You knock on this many doors with leads, right? Knock on this many doors with leads. You should get this many presentations. This many presentations will equal to this much AP. This much AP will equal a six-figure income. So our whole formula is designed to show an agent how to come in immediately and make six figures.
So if it's like, hey, I want to make six figures, just knock on this many leads doors each week.
Correct.
And at the end,
it's going to be six figures.
It will equal this.
If
he didn't say it should. He said it's going to be six figures.
Right. But you have to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about the 4 C's, right? So consistent schedule, okay? You got to work a schedule. And I'm going to work with you to, you know, put that schedule in place.
And not everybody's schedule's the same, or it is?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And we work with...
Some people got to pick up kids from school, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. You know, if you can put in the hours, then consistent schedule. Because you listen, when you get in this, you're a business owner. You got to treat it like you're a business owner. You know, one of the things that, and I'll get back to this 4 C's, but one of the things is like people come from jobs where they're told you got to work 40 hours, be here at this time, clock out at this time, and you know what? They do it.
Yeah.
But then they transition and work for themselves, and all of a sudden, all these other obligations, I got to do this. You made it work when you had a job.
Correct.
You found a way for the child to get picked up. You found a way for all this stuff.
But now I'm self-employed. My wife's got a job, so she can't go pick up the kids. So I have to do it now.
Exactly. You got to treat it like a business because that's what you are. You're a business owner. And any business, think about this, man. You go to, you know, McDonald's says they're going to open at 6 a.m. And you go there and it's 6:30 and nobody's there. You know, say, man, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And if you do that, you know, for a few days out of the weekend, it's like they're late every day. You can be like, who's running this establishment?
Yeah.
And then you'll probably find another place to go, another McDonald's, because it's not being run
because there's
properly.
8,000 in Houston.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so consistent schedule, consistent lead flow. You have to be willing to buy leads every week. Okay.
Please hear this part, by the way.
Okay. Look, if we're going to talk about McDonald's, how smart would it be if McDonald's said, you know what? We need to save a little money. Let's not buy any patties, buns, or fries this week. We'll save a ton. Is that a good idea, Cody?
No.
That's horrible, right?
Yeah.
So
But that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, listen, they saved $10,000.
We don't.
Yeah, they saved $10,000 on patties, buys, fries, and buns. But they really lost. You really lost money.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Any business, you have to have an inventory. And leads are the inventory to our business. If you go to Walmart and Walmart doesn't have anything on the shelves, if it's sparse, right, on the shelves, they're really losing money. And if your lead investment, you only have a little bit of leads, you are losing money. So you have to commit to a certain lead investment every week.
I love that.
That's number 2, right? Consistent presentation. Yo, hey, I say the same thing every single time. You can roll me out of bed at 3 a.m. and you know what? Slap me and I'll spit the presentation out verbatim. The chit chat will change, right? The connecting. Oh, you know, yes, that cat is fluffy, Ms. Johnson, one of the fluffiest cats I've seen. But then I'm back to the presentation at the point that I've left off. So the chit chat will change, but that script, that presentation is always the same. And then consistent communication, right? We have our daily calls, our daily training calls. We have something called an in and up call, where when you're in a home, you call us. Okay, we invented that, by the way. I know people have stolen it, but we've invented the in and up call. They call us in the home. And it just adds so much credibility. It gives a new agent it teaches them which carriers to go to when the client has particular health issues. They learn more about underwriting, about closing. And if you do those 4 things consistently, now look, you can't pick 2 of them and do it one week and then the other 2 the next week. If you do all 4 of those things consistently, you're going to make 6 figures, okay? And it's really that simple.
Yeah.
It's not an easy business, but it is a simple business.
You're trying to flip 8% into 88%. That's what you're trying to do.
Let's
man.
go.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. man, dude, like we could literally talk for hours. Like this is so good.
Let's go, man. Let's keep
Such
going.
good content, man. Oh my gosh. Also, as you guys listen later, man, tell me what did I miss? Because he will be back for sure. Dude, if they want to learn more about you, connect, whatever, man. What do they do? Where do they go?
I like people to call me, man. I'm old school.
I just
got on social media 6 months ago, bro. Well, maybe 8 months. All right. I'm doing all right with it. But listen, I'm old school, man. Call me 337-412-2082. 337-412-2082. Listen, if you're looking for just an opportunity that can be life-changing like it's been for me, it's changed my life. Okay. Yeah. If you're looking for training, if you're looking for support, if you're looking for somebody that you can trust, okay? Because you got to be able to trust the people that you're in partnership with. Amen. And listen, I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to be honest and tell you the truth. If you're looking for quality leads, call me, 337-412-2082. Text me and just say, hey, Brian, I'm looking to partner with Team 300, North American Senior Benefits. I'll call you myself, and I'll show you how to move forward. We'll schedule some training, and we'll get you on that path to 6 figures and potentially more. If you're hungry, if you're dedicated, if you're committed, we can get you to that 7-figure mark as well.
Let's go, dude. Amazing. Appreciate you. Thanks for dropping so much gold, being in person.
Yeah,
I love it when we can hang out, and I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Can you do this? I want you to I want you to give a shout out to Team 300.
Team 300.
Ow.
Ow.
Louder.
Ow.
One more time.
Ow.
Ow. Let's go.
Dude, Dylan's going to love that we just blew the mic. No, just kidding. Dude, Team 300. Dude, I'm rooting for you guys. You guys got an amazing leader. I'm a big fan of this cat and what you guys are doing. I appreciate you going to work to help families and to help this industry look better on paper and statistically. And it means a lot that you guys are allowing me to hang and steal a little bit of your leader's time here and there to help the rest of the industry.
Yeah, so, my pleasure.
Thank you, dude. He's a good dude.
Me, brother.
He's right, by the way, when it comes to trust, ethics, integrity. We try to vet people that come on the podcast as best we can. It's freaking hard, by the way, right? However, I have only ever heard amazing things about Brian Celestine. I mean that, and I think that's very important. So thank you for being back on the podcast.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Let's go.
Okay. Also, appreciate you guys hanging with us and listening. What an amazing episode, by the way. Oh my gosh, man. 40 minutes of straight gold delivered. If you enjoyed this, let me know in comments below. As always, if you want to end up on the podcast, man, you got to make sure that you get our attention. You do something big like Brian, and we can come hang out and share your message. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one. Kaboom.